Welcome back to my channel. I really hope you enjoy the intro to this video. This trip starts from the busy city of Athens with final destination Norway, Kristiansund. The first leg will be to Copenhagen, where I will spend a couple of days before a long journey of 17 hours by car to Norway. Traveling by car in Norway is just fantastic. You first notice an insane nature, rich of mountains, rivers, waterfalls, and this never-ending sunset. When crossing the mountains, the temperature dropped all the way to 2 degrees. Dio Vatmus. I've arrived. 6 in the morning. We travel all the way through the night, and this is our destination. We have a fantastic cabin straight over the sea and a nice fast rib. We take our shiny red rib to some islands about 10 nautical miles offshore. Sailing in this area is quite stressing. The weather changes fast, it's cold, around 8 degrees, and there are rocks literally everywhere that can be in or out of the water depending on the tide, which can be as high as 4 meters.
Why are you going so slow?
For you to take the video, you want me to go faster?
We anchored in the middle of a large bay with a sandy bottom, which is ideal for scallops. The water is freezing cold, 8 degrees, possibly colder at the bottom. For saving energies, we dive with a light variable weight between 15 and 20 meters deep. I feel like an ancient Greek sponge diver. They might have felt just as cold as I am when they dived naked. I'm wearing a 8mm wetsuit jacket, 5mm socks and 7mm trousers. Only the gloves are light, because I cannot move with thick ones. The game is simple. It's search the bottom and spot the scallops that like to hide in the sand. In this dive, I managed to collect 3 of them. It's time to make it to the surface.
Motherfucker!
3 in one dive.
Yep, and I had to leave one because it was smaller. 3.5.
Scallops, or kammusling in Norwegian, contain one of the tastiest meat I've ever tried. Collecting those, it's hard work. They're generally deep, hidden in the sand, and like cold water. However, when you taste one, you forget about the cost and just crave for more. I love them fried with a crust on the outside and rare on the inside.
Perfekt. Hallo?
The weather turned quite windy, and for the next couple of days we decided to fish in the fjords. We take an electric ferry which made absolutely no noise. It was quite an experience, and we traveled to a bridge famous for the strong currents and big Atlantic cods. Diving under the pillar of the bridge is quite a challenge. You need to get there with the incoming high tide. Only then the fish shows up, but the current is very strong and the visibility from the surface is terrible. Relaxing on the surface is hard. The only way is to anchor yourself to the bridge. The conditions, however, they change after 5 meters deep. The visibility improves a lot and the current is weaker. Because of all of this, overall my diving times are way shorter and I need to take extra easy. Once the visibility improves, the game is to search for the Atlantic cod, bacalharos in Greek, that loves to play a hide and seek between the iron pillars. Once reaching for the surface again, it is important to assess again where the current has moved you. so not to hit something. In this shot we see two cods going for the deep water, and so I decide to make it back. Some of the pillars are a bit more shallow. This one is 15 meters. In this dive I reached the bottom in search of more cods, with the idea to end with an aspetto. But when I turn my head to the right, I see this Atlantic wolffish. It looks like a monster. The meat is edible, but not my favorite. The bite, though, is very dangerous, possibly stronger than a Mediterranean moray eel. I decided not to take the easy shot and only record this wolffish. In this dive, I spotted this Atlantic cod just swimming down with me. I delayed the shot because I consider it an easy shot, and I am trying to see if any bigger fish pops up. I obviously underestimated actually the size of the fish, which is possibly more than 5 kilograms, even though it doesn't look like, and I missed the shot. And something similar happens some minutes later, a little bit deeper. The table turned eventually, and I realized with this shot that all the fish that I had spotted was probably bigger and farther away from me. I found it very hard to estimate the distance given these new diving conditions. So again, in this shot I have a shoot that is probably above 5 meters long, and the fish got hit hard and start swimming towards the bottom while I make it to the surface. The reel on the spear gun is very important here because the fish is very powerful and starts to swim down. When I managed to get the fish up to the surface, I noticed that only one of the barbs of the spear open, and it's actually under the skin.
Jesper,
So I reach out for my
Jesper,
buddy and ask for help.
Jesper, can you double shoot it? Can you shoot it? Can you shoot it?
Thank you.
The head of the cod is very hard, and this spear gun, 100 centimeters, cannot even send a spear through the fish, but kills it instantly. Now that the fish is shot twice, we can relax a bit, even though we are in the current.
Hold it up if you can. All right, man. That's what I'm talking about. Sweet.
It was super far,
Yeah.
and I thought it was a very small cod.
Yeah.
You see my spear?
Oh, that's lucky.
It
That's
was
pretty
a
lucky.
6-meter shot.
How many?
6 meters or more.
Wow. Wow.
A crazy long shot.
From the side. Yeah. Nice. Det skal jeg, hvis jeg ellers vil få den hjem. Hvad siger du? Det gør jeg, hvis jeg kan få den hjem. Altså min egen.
Another day, another round. We are again at the bridge, and this time I'm doing an ambush, an agguato. So to surprise this Atlantic coast that I like to swim within these pillars. I'm trying to come up to the surface when I spot this fish I at first thought that it was a cod. I hit the fish and I continue making it to the surface. This time I shot from the front side of the pillar that is exposed to the current, and it's quite challenging because all my line get entangled in the iron platform around the surface. I managed to not get anything stuck eventually, and I managed to recover this fish in my hands. The current here is at the strongest and is pulling you to the sides. I decide to park the spear gun on the surface in order to have two hands available, and I grab the iron with my legs.
A lupe?
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought it was a
This fish is a pollock, also called lube in Danish,
That size.
and it's on around 4 to 5 kilos heavy.
Crazy dive, Mikael. Crazy dive. You saw, I started from this side, and then I went inside, and then I shoot this. It was inside, but I was like, let's give it a shot. What can go wrong? It was inside
Okay, how
pipe.
deep were you?
19.
And so every evening we're here to prepare the fish. We do the filleting and we stock it in the freezer. We learned that it's a good idea to wash the filetto once it's ready directly in the sea with this system that the local fishermen just show us. This prevents the fresh water to get in touch with the meat and preserves it better in taste. The pollock, it's a very common fish in Norway, and in this last footage I want to show you that you can catch them also with regular aspetto. They are a bit shy, but they're not the smartest fish around, so with a bit of aspetto they eventually decide to come closer and closer.
Vi sejlede et kvarter eller sådan noget, ikke, tror jeg? Det skulle være sjovt at prøve i morgen, men...
That was a greedy fucker.
He ruined it for the rest of us.
After a day I was was no trap.
But you are replacing a tripod that I used to have. So I mean,
It's a little more live tripod. You want filming the rest?
No, thank you. And so also this journey comes to an end. It was an amazing week with really good friends, and it's time to go back home to Athens. Thank you for watching the video. Have a good summer.